Alright, so we're going to get the character morphs from Character Creator into Unreal Engine. So the first thing I want to do is I want to turn all of our currently used morphs off. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to create our morphs first. So we're going to export this as a Blender export. Create a new folder. We're also going to want this character in Unreal Engine A pose. This one we're going to want to do an Unreal Engine export. Okay, so the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to get the plugin for Unreal Engine, the Character Creator Auto Setup plugin, or yeah, that. So tool. So we're going to get this, we're going to click here. If you don't already have it installed, you're going to click there, and then that will give you the download for the Auto Setup. Character Creator Icon Auto Setup tool for Unreal Engine. I already have it installed, so you can use this. And then once you have it installed, you're going to come up here, go to Browse Files, and that's going to show you the file location. Go to your version that you're using, and we're just going to copy these over to our project file. So this is my project file. And then we will paste that in there, and that should combine your content folder and create a new file for your plugins. And I'm going to open this, and what we're going to do is we're going to get this character into Unreal Engine, and that way we can actually use a character creator model inside of Unreal Engine, and then from there we're going to worry about getting our morphs in. Because we're going to select the skeleton from this character on import. So, but for now, while that's doing that thing, let's just go back to a relaxed A, and we can start doing our morphs. So let's do this, and we'll just do this one. I like this. Is going to be a good example morph. It's going to be a Blender export. We're going to export this. Okay. So we're going to go into our content folder. We're going to create a new folder called Characters. I'm going to go in here. And then we're going to create another one for our base mesh. And we're going to import this. And we're going to import our base, or we want the UE4 A pose. Make sure it's the A pose. So we're going to open that. Okay. Okay, so we don't want morph targets. We don't necessarily need the physics asset because we're not actually going to be using this character. This is just to get our character in there. So these are the settings you're going to need for importing from Character Creator into Unreal Engine just for the skeleton. Okay, so this is our initial import. Okay. Alright, let's just go back here. And another thing I'm going to show you guys how to do is to do these different morphs here. So there's an issue with these because you can see how the body is scaling. That's a problem for us because it's going to mess up the skeleton and it won't retarget properly. Well, it'll retarget properly, but the mesh will not look right. It'll deform the mesh in ways we don't want it to. So we have to do it this way. So we're going to do a T-pose like this. And we are going to export this as a Unreal Engine export. But we want this to be in a T-pose. So we're going to say current pose down here. And we want to uncheck embedded motion. And we're going to export that. Okay, so now our character's in here. You can see that they're in Unreal Engine A pose. And so what we're going to do is we're going to open this, and we're going to make sure that this is set up and ready for retargeting. So we're going to go to the Retarget Manager, and make sure this is humanoid, auto map, and then we can save this. And now we want to go to the Unreal Engine Mannequin, go to the mesh, go to the skeleton, and we got to make sure he's set up as a humanoid. We want to auto map, and we want to save, close that, and now we want to retarget to another skeleton, and it's going to be this skeleton. I don't know if this is important. I do it. I don't think it matters. And so now what you'll be able to see if we go into our third-person blueprint, blueprints, character blueprint, and we can swap this mesh out with our other mesh. So go to this, and instead of this, we will go to our, if I can get these things out of my way, we'll go to this character here. We'll compile, save, and you'll see that we now have a character creator character inside of Unreal Engine. And now that we have that, now we have a skeleton that we can actually select on our import, and that's going to be important for us. So for now, we are going to save this, and we're going to go back to here. Alright, make sure I exported this because I don't remember. I must have. Okay. So now we're going to open up a new Blender file. Okay, so now we have a new Blender file open. We're just going to delete all of this, and we're going to import our base mesh. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete this because we don't really need it. We just need the mesh. I'm going to create a new thing here, file, import, and go to examples. I'm going to go to the nose, and we'll import that. And we're going to delete the skeleton off this one as well. That'll just make it easier to see. Go here, join the shapes. Now, if you want more accuracy, you can do the same process. So you would select this, or here, I'll just show you. So you would do this for every single one of these. Right, and you would want to make sure that they're all the same name. That way, Unreal Engine automatically joins them as one morph target. And that's going to give you better accuracy for your shape keys or for your morph targets. And we're almost done. Okay, so now we can just delete all this, and now if you look at this, you have your shape key, your morph, inside of Blender. Now we need to get this from Blender into Unreal Engine. So the way we're going to do that is we are going to do this, file, import, FBX, go back, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to put it onto our female character. So we're going to go back to characters here, and we will do this for our female character, and we're going to import our female character. But when we do this, we want to select this skeleton off of this character here. Okay, so you can see UE4 A pose skeleton. That's what we want to select. We can create a physics asset for this character. We do not want our morph targets because we're going to be adding more morph targets to it. We don't need animations. We don't want to create materials, but everything else should be default. Here, let's just verify that everything else will be default. TO's reference pose. We're going to do this. No morph targets. Physics asset. That's correct. No animations. Down here, we're going to change this to do not create. And yep, that's it. And now it should import, and we can just transfer our mesh, change our mesh, and we should be able to play as this character. And essentially what we've done is we imported in a T-pose, and what that's going to allow us to do is to actually transfer our morphs over onto our female character. Okay, so we're going to we want this to be in a T-pose, so we actually cannot delete the skeleton off of this one. So, because that skeleton's holding this in a T-pose. So when we transfer this shape key or join this as a shape key to this other object, it's going to actually put this one into a T-pose when we go into it, and that's what we want. Join the shapes, go down here, and we're going to call this female. And again, we're just going to do it for every object part of this mesh. Almost done. Okay, so now that that's done, now we can see our mesh here is going to see it goes into our T-pose and it becomes our female mesh that we needed. And this is just the eyes and stuff, so I could go through and I could just move everything down where they're supposed to be. So you have all that. That's done. But now we need to put this onto a skeleton. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this. We're going to attach it to this skeleton off the female mesh we imported. So we can just delete the meshes off of that because now they're in here. And so what we'll do is we'll come in here and we will say, we'll go to our relations tab and we'll click on the armature and you'll see it just disappeared. Well, it didn't actually disappear. Now it's actually on this armature. And so what you'll see is that this is still in its weird little A pose looking thing. But when we apply our morph, it's going to line up with that skeleton perfectly, just like the other mesh did. And that's what we want. So we are going to do the same thing with all of these. We're going to go to armature, just like this for all of these. Okay. And now, because there's no skeleton on this mesh, or there wasn't originally, we deleted it, you can see that this is red. So what we want to do is we want to actually turn this on and go select this armature here. Okay, we're going to do that for all these. Okay, so now that's done. What we can do now is we can actually go here, go to pose mode, and we want to apply pose as rest pose. And then if you move this, you can see, oh, that's all wonky, but we're going to go to pose and we'll set it back to rest pose. Now this will be the pose when we go into Unreal Engine. I just want to see something real quick. Teeth. Object mode teeth. So these have not been treating me right. I don't really appreciate that. Okay. We'll go with our morphs mesh. Export that. That do its thing. Okay. I don't believe we need this open anymore. Nor do we need this open. Okay, so now we have a female character in here. We're going to go, I just want to make sure this is all going to be working. Blueprints, we're going to swap the mesh out. And so we're going to go here, and we'll select this mesh, compile, save, close. And now we can play, and you can see now we have our female character. So we're going to have to adjust our character height, and that's because the character that we imported before is a different height from this character, so her feet aren't going to touch the ground. But that's not a big deal. We can fix that later. Which I probably won't do in this video just for the sake of time. It's going to take a lot of time just to try to show you how to do these couple of morphs. Because what we're trying to do is we're going to get that nose round morph onto this character here. Okay, so this is done. Okay, that's exported. Okay, so now in our characters, we are going to create another one for create a folder for our Morphs mesh. And we'll import our Morphs mesh. We don't want to select a skeleton. We do not want this. We want our morph targets this time. We don't need textures or anything. So for the most part, we're pretty much going to keep everything the same. We're not going to select a skeleton or anything. And yeah, that should be that. So we'll import that. Okay, that's imported. Now we will just verify that this is working. Please work, please work. Oh, it's working, okay. Okay, so you can see that our character now has gone to her female T-pose. So this is perfect. So what we're going to do is we are going to create. Okay, so what we actually need to do is we're going to need to go here, we're going to go to plugins, and we're going to search for our Morph Tools plugin. So this is, you're going to download, so this is a $50 plugin you're going to have to download from the Unreal Engine Marketplace. And you can get that by going to the Epic Games launcher, and you can go to the Marketplace there. Here, I'll just show you real quick. Not sure it'll open with Unreal Engine open. Oh, there it is. Okay. I'll show you where you can find this. Marketplace. And we're going to go for Morph Tools plugin. If I can spell. If I can spell. Okay, so it's this one here. It's $50, and this is the one I'm using. And we're going to have to restart this here. So let's do that. And so it's going to ask me to do that. I'm going to say save all, stay selected. Okay, and so with this reopened, now we're going to go up here, Morph Tools Actions, create Morph Tools asset. And so it'll automatically copy that. That doesn't really matter. You can choose to use morph copies here or not. But what we really want to do is we want to slide this over, remove all toggle, bake all toggle. And what that'll do is when we bake it, it's not going to bake every single one of these, and it won't remove any of them. So we're going to type in our female character. We're going to set this all the way up. We're going to click bake. You can click remove on this one. I haven't done that. This just works for me. And so I'm just showing you the way that I've done it. And so we're going to go bake morphs. And I'm not going to do bake. Actually, yes, I will, because then it'll be easier for me to find it and select it. And so we will bake morphs. Okay, so that's done. Now we're going to come in here. Now you can see this character is our female character in our T-pose, which is why we wanted to import this character into T-pose. So we'll go back to our characters, we'll go to female, and you'll see this character here. Now we are going to create another Morph Tools asset, and this is where we're going to do things a little bit different. So we're going to, first what I like to do is I like to pull my mesh in here, and I like to see, because you can view two meshes at the same time. So you can click additional meshes, and you can see where it says baked right here. This is what I mean by it's a lot easier to see, because then I could just be, oh, okay, baked. It's very quick, easy to see. And you see how it's covered in some places and mostly it's not. That's because it's having a hard time rendering both at the same time, because they're in the same space, so we know that it's going to work. So we can remove that, and now pick source mesh, and it's going to be our baked one, and then that should be it. We're just going to copy that. No proximity map is selected, so we're going to create one. Yes, we want to do that. And you'll quickly see that our character, so it's now created a new character right here. And this character has all of our morphs on it. And you can see they're all right here. And if I type in our nose round, you will see our nose round has converted over to our character inside of Unreal Engine. And that's essentially how you do it. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But I will go a little bit further and I'll show you a couple things. So what I do is I will rename this our, well, here, before we do that, let's do this. We're going to have to retarget or apply this to our new mesh. So that's going to be our, where is it? It's going to be our morph copy, right? So because it's copied the morphs over. So it's going to be this one. You're not going to see any changes, but that should be it. We're going to save that, close that, and now we can delete all this extra stuff. So we can delete this. Do not delete the copy. That's the one we just created, but we can delete everything else. We can delete that. And you see that character disappeared, and that's because we have not changed in our blueprint. We haven't changed this, our character. And so because it uses the same skeleton, we should be able to just throw that character right in and play as this character. And so this is our character with our morph. I don't believe it's applied. No, we have not applied the morph. And I'm going to figure out all that stuff, and you can see the feet are still hovering over the ground. We're going to need to fix that as well. But our morphs are in, and that's what we wanted. So that's that's that. Awesome.